This sweeping facade is one of the most impressive Georgian structures in the whole of the UK. Find out where it is in just a moment. In today's show, our house hunters can't wait to leave behind suburban life and move on into pastures new in the countryside. The size of our properties gets the seal of approval. Brace yourself, it's quite a big one. Ta-da!
Brilliant.
But there's dissent along the way too.
You're not getting the views, you're getting hedgerows.
And the answer is to take down the hedges.
Quite.
Today I'm in Bath, in the county of Somerset, and this is the Royal Crescent, the city's most iconic structure. It was built at the end of the 18th century by the architect John Wood the Younger, and it consists of 30 individual Grade 1 listed buildings. In amongst them there's a luxury hotel and a museum, but most of them have been divided into flats, although the facade has stayed unchanged for 230 years. And it's not the only remarkable thing in this county that has stood the test of time. Let's talk about those pesky monetary matters. The average price for a detached house here in Somerset is £276,000, which is £6,000 less than the national figure. But, as always, there are hotspots in this county, particularly in the northeast around the city of Bath, where you pay a lot more for the same sort of property. So if you can steer clear of Bath, your money's going to go a lot further. But what other factors have attracted our buyers to this lovely county? Let's meet them and find out. Training and development consultant Laurie met graphic designer David 15 years ago when her company was starting out and she was liaising with work clients.
I would describe David as a bit eccentric in a wonderful, wonderful way. He makes me laugh all the time.
I'd describe Laurie as enthusiastic, positive, lively, loving, and probably the best person I've ever met in my life. And,
I was going to say the same thing, but I thought I'd cry.
Wokingham holds a special place in their hearts, as it's not just where they currently live, but where they met and were married.
David came up with a really good idea of how we could never ever, or how he could never ever forget our anniversary.
Yes, November the 5th. So I would never forget my wedding anniversary, and also had free firework displays every single wedding anniversary.
But after living in the town for over 25 years, they've noticed that the area is changing, with more green space being built on by developers.
It's not quite the same charming little market town it used to be.
Memories are all in here, aren't they? You know, it's not in the bricks and mortar, really. It's what you take with you, and I'm taking him with me, so it'll be fine.
Now that Laurie's daughters and David's sons have all left home, they're more than ready to move to the peace and quiet of the countryside and buy their first home together.
Now it's all about us and the change of environment and having some space and having a new house to really invest some time in and just making it right for us. I like change, I like things to be moving, so that doesn't worry me at all. It's going to be very, very exciting.
David was all set to move to Somerset before he met Laurie, which meant putting his plans on hold. However, after 18 years of working from home and now nearing retirement, the county holds even more appeal.
It's just beautiful, and there's space, there's freedom out there.
But it's not too rural, because I don't want to be in the middle of nowhere. So it still has a village and a town feel, and there are things going on.
Having travelled extensively in the UK and abroad in their caravan and sports car, Laurie and David have a lot of experience of staying in guest houses, which they hope to put to good use once they relocate.
Part of the move would be perhaps to buy a property that has a business associated with it, perhaps a holiday let. It would be much easier for me. I would only worry about changeover on Saturdays, maintaining the property, dealing with any problems the guests might have.
I'm going to continue in my job, but then gradually I'm not going to want to work as much as I do at the moment. Then I can become, you know, more of a part of it.
So with grand plans ahead of them, it's all systems go to find the house of their dreams.
I'm a frustrated country boy, and can't wait.
I'm a townie, but I'll cope. It'll be fine.
Laurie and David are happy to consider a range of locations in North Somerset. However, for the immediate future, Laurie will continue to work and so needs good access to motorways, and they'd both like to be within an hour's drive of Bristol. I'm meeting up with them in Somerset to dig deeper into what they're looking for in their new home. So you made it from Wokingham to lovely Somerset.
We have, we have.
And beautiful spring weather you brought with you.
Great setting, yeah.
Yes.
David, you're more of a country boy, so is this sort of your dream move?
I've been trying to move for... how long, darling?
About 15 years.
15 years.
She's been stopping you.
She has, actually, because I was just set to move to Somerset itself about 15 years ago, and that's when we met.
So, Laurie, are you a bit more ambivalent about the countryside?
I love the countryside. It's just at the moment my business is really busy, so I need to keep a foot in the home counties. But it'd be great to have a rural retreat to come back to, and I'm looking forward to that very much.
And you're also quite international, so do you need to be near Bristol Airport?
That will help a lot, yes.
I understand you want to kind of get some money out of the property in terms of business. Tell me about that.
So the idea is to have some kind of holiday let.
I will be a little bit more part-time, but gradually I'll have more time to spend on it.
And the house for you, what's the spec for that?
We're looking for 3 or 4 bedrooms. 4 would be great. Rooms with quite reasonable proportions would be great. Some views.
And period? Are you fussed about the age of the property?
It'd be nice to have an older property, Georgian, something like that.
Some character, yes. But not too pokey.
I've met your type before. It's like, well, character, but not too character, and modern, but not too
Not too
modern.
twee.
And location, do you want to be in a community or out in the sticks?
Just outside a village would be okay. I think one of the reasons why we've hit on North Somerset is because Bristol is not that far, and Bristol is great. Bristol has everything that London has, but on a smaller, slightly more quirky, relaxed scale. So as long as I'm within reach of those kind of social activities, then that would be fine.
So you've still got the kind of social bug. What about you,
Yeah,
David?
no, I'm happy in mine, in the middle of a field with a couple of dogs. That would suit me.
And remind me of your budget.
We have 700,000, but if the property is absolutely perfect, we could go up as far as 750,000.
Well, that's a very handsome budget. And we've got some lovely properties lined up and interesting in terms of the business, so I hope that you find them to your taste.
Great.
Let's go.
Thank you.
Thanks.
With a healthy budget of £750,000, Laurie and David are after a character property with 3 to 4 bedrooms, generous living areas and countryside views. They'd also like a holiday let and to be within an hour's drive of Bristol. We've lined up an impressive range of properties which reflect the West Country charm our buyers are looking for. After each of the house tours, I'll be asking them to guess the price tag. And our final offering is the Mystery House, designed to challenge the elements on their wish list and encourage them to look at something that normally they would have ruled out. Are you a bit nervous about the move to the country?
I'm not nervous about a full-scale country life, but it's not right for me today,
Career-wise.
career-wise.
Well, as someone who's done it, I can genuinely say that all my anxieties about being, how far is it from London, melted away within about a week.
Really?
You do meet people quite quickly in the countryside because people are more friendly.
Yes.
For our first property, we're heading to the village of Mark, which is around a 50-minute drive from Bristol. Mark has a vibrant local community thanks to its village hall, which hosts a variety of weekly activities. With a convenience store, post office and 2 pubs, it is surrounded by open countryside. This village would provide Laurie and David with the tranquil setting they're after. Our first property is a short stroll from the village down a quiet lane, overlooking open fields. This is our first offering.
It's really, really pretty. It's lovely. I like the pink at the back.
Yeah.
The pink with the red brick.
Double
Super.
front like you've always wanted,
Double fronted, yes. And sash windows. No, I like it very much from the outside.
You also have an annex standing behind it.
Wow.
Well, it's beginning to get better and better.
Shall we look inside?
Oh, yes, please.
Love to.
Built in 1754, this former bakery has retained its character. Laurie and David already seem excited about it, but let's see what they make of the interior. So I've whisked you round into the oldest part of the house.
Oh,
Oh, it's lovely.
that's got a lovely feel
Yeah,
to it, hasn't it?
This is the bit that goes back to the 1700s, and this is the front door, which they don't use. But
I like the windows, I like the little mini sort of bay.
The views are amazing, actually. Just from standing in the corner of the room, you can see a farm over there, fields over there. So the feel is lovely. Perfect.
in contrast with the original part, the current owners added a modern extension at the back during the 1990s.
Great. Yeah, good.
It's quite a size, isn't it?
That's huge.
That's terrific.
You come forward, you can see it really is a very big kitchen. Got a lovely range cooker here, masses of working space, an island.
That's great. There's loads of stuff going on. You've got a small table there, you've got a breakfast bar there, you've got a snug there, and yet it doesn't feel cramped. You've still got... It's just enormous.
It's good social room too.
It's terrific.
You get a lot of people in here in one go.
And where we're moving from, we've got a large kitchen diner, and it's where we have lots of parties. Irrespective of any other room in the house, that's where everybody congregates. And this would just take over from that. It's just perfect for the way we like to live.
It's also got a wonderful walk-in larder and a big utility room through there.
Yeah. And you won't have to do a thing.
Yeah.
which is good.
Also on the ground floor, there's a formal dining room, a cosy but elegant snug, and a large, bright conservatory overlooking the garden. Upstairs are 5 bedrooms, 4 of which are doubles, and 1 single, which is currently used as a study. There's also a family bathroom, but it's the master suite which I'm most looking forward to showing Laurie and David. Brace yourself, it's quite a big one. Ensuite, walk-in wardrobe, and ta-da!
Brilliant.
It's wonderful.
Brilliant.
It's lovely.
Is this over the kitchen?
Yeah.
Gosh, it's enormous. You'd have no idea looking at the outside to have a room of this size. Gosh, you're in your element, aren't you, in here?
Yeah. Huge bedroom. Always wanted a nice big master bedroom.
What I've noticed walking into each room is that it doesn't matter which window you look out of, it's a lovely view.
It is a view.
Which is fantastic.
So this is your offering, so quite a spacious sort of personal house. Let's go and look at the business side.
Okay.
The holiday let here is built over the double garage and has its own private courtyard garden, which leads into a conservatory, off which is a compact kitchen. There are 2 double bedrooms, a shower room and a good-sized living area. It's a blank canvas at the moment and offers bags of potential for our buyers.
I think there's more than enough space for you here for
There
a
is.
week.
The fact you've got 2 bedrooms, it means you could have a family.
So is this sort of what you were thinking of?
Well, this is absolutely bang on what we're thinking of. Yes.
Let's see if you can afford it.
No.
Oh.
With an acre of land on offer here, the outside space is a generous proposition for Laurie and David.
I like it because it's big without being open. I'm not very keen on that sort of football pitch type of garden. And I think this is lovely.
This is absolutely perfect.
So what do you think this is on the market for?
This is the tricky bit, isn't it?
I'd say around 700.
I was going to say 690.
OK, so in this instance, you're a bit optimistic.
Yes.
This is on the market at 725.
OK.
Well, that's okay.
It's not that optimistic. Yeah.
It's in your budget, and I think it
Yes.
gives you a lot of what you asked for.
It's great.
Good, we can go home.
OK.
Sign the cheque.
Okay, we'll buy this one.
But have an explore, and I will see you at the front with your
right.
thoughts, and then we can go on to the next one.
All right.
Lovely. Thank you.
There you go. £25,000 under their budget, this former bakery with 5 bedrooms, a huge kitchen and bags of living space also offers Laurie and David the holiday let potential they were hoping for from their new property. Set on the edge of a village, it's a 50-minute drive from Bristol.
This is a super little room, isn't it?
Yeah.
I was thinking, we've got so many books. Just sit around with a fire going,
Cup of tea,
no TV, just books.
quiet, just the countryside through the window.
It'd be lovely, wouldn't
Yeah.
it? I really like this property. I think the space is terrific. The real highlight rooms are the kitchen, diner part and the master bedroom, and also to have the views. What do you think about it then?
I think it's fantastic. It's answered all the brief.
I know.
And the rest. I mean, I didn't expect a garden as big.
It feels like
It
our
feels like
house.
our place, but better. The potential holiday let is great, plus the potential to open it up even further with the garage beneath. So overall, as a first house, this is almost perfect. So if they get better than this, then we'd be very pleased.
Hello.
Hello.
Hiya.
You all done?
Yes.
Good. Well, I won't pick your brains too much, but let's go straight on to the next one.
Great.
Excellent.
Dating back to the 12th century, Wells Cathedral has been described as one of the most beautiful and most poetic of English cathedrals. Visited by 300,000 people every year, it's renowned for its scale and the architectural intricacy of its exterior. Keen to learn more about Somerset's heritage, we've arranged for Laurie and David to meet the Clerk of Works, Jez Fry, to hear about its striking stonework.
When was it all built?
The first phase of the cathedral took 80 years to complete, culminating in the west front we see behind us, which was started in 1215 and took around 30 years to build.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And in medieval times it was painted, wasn't it?
Yes, all the statues were painted, all the niches behind them were painted, so it was a riot of colour, but it wasn't only a visual spectacle, it was also an audible spectacle. There are openings through the walls where trumpeters would have stood, acting as the heralds from the angels trumpeting down.
How amazing.
As the earliest Gothic example in England, Wells Cathedral would have been the 3D movie of its time, drawing people from far and wide to worship and wonder at its architecture.
It's a particularly intricate front. How many statues are there?
Originally there was 400 statues, now there's only 300. Starting at the top, there's the statue of Christ, flanked either side by the six-winged seraphim or angels, and then obviously the disciples are below that. And then as we move down, there's historic kings, quite a few bishops, because obviously they were keen to have themselves immortalised on the west front.
Really, really fascinating.
Wells Cathedral's ongoing restoration work draws on the traditional skills of stonemasonry, and our couple are getting a masterclass from the cathedral stonemasons in Cheddar. Their meeting director and award-winning stonemason Ryan Brunt, who completed his apprenticeship whilst working on the cathedral in 1989.
How long does it take to become a stonemason?
The apprenticeship is 3 years.
And what kind of skills do you learn over that period?
It's all do with chisel control and mallet control to start off with. So working a square block, true and square and flat. Then you'll progress on to moulded work.
Driving around here, you see lots of different houses made of different coloured stones. Do you work on different stones here?
Yeah, we work on any stone anyone wants, really. For instance, Dalton stone that the cathedral's built off. And this one here is called Stoke Ground Top Bed. It's one of the Bath stones quarried just outside Bath.
What would that be used for?
It's used for fireplaces, window surrounds, anything architectural on a building, really.
So you can sculpt with it? So you can...
Yeah, funny
quite
enough,
intricate work.
I've got something set up for you to play with.
Brilliant.
Oh, lovely, thank you.
Quarried since Roman times, Bath stone's soft, chalky texture makes it easy for the stonemasons to work with. Laurie and David are trying their hand at making a unique souvenir to take home with them.
I'll do a W, darling.
OK,
In a circle.
OK.
The letter W represents Laurie and David's family name.
3 years at Fine Art College, and this is where he gets to.
That's about right.
Oh, wow.
It's fine.
Trying to visualise it in 3D.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
OK, so this is the bit that goes.
Yeah.
So then the W is then in relief.
Then it rises out of the circle. I know.
So I've got you these to put on, to protect your eyes. Yeah. If you start here, have a little angle. So we're keeping away from the line first, and then we move back again. Just make sure it chips in the right direction then. So what we're trying to do is just relieve some of the waste first. Right, now it's your turn.
Yep, thank you.
With more than 26 years of experience, Ryan makes sculpting look easy. But with the stone costing £2,500 per cubic metre, there's little margin for error.
That's the line, so if I keep it slightly out.
Yeah.
They're changing from a wide chisel to a smaller, precise chisel to complete the carving.
So basically hold this one upright and just stab with it.
Pepper it, yeah.
So how's that?
So, what do you think?
That's fine for your first attempt. Not bad at all. This one here you're taking home with you today.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that's great. And then we can put it in our new home in the country.
Exactly,
Perfect. Oh, thank you so much. It's been really, really great.
Our house hunt continues in the village of Draycott, 45 minutes from Bristol. Sitting on the southern edge of the Mendip Hills area of outstanding natural beauty, Draycott is a popular draw for many tourists, which is worth bearing in mind given Laurie and David's holiday-let aspirations. The village remains a major strawberry producer, even though the historic Strawberry Line Railway is no longer running. With a local store and a wealth of community activities, there's a lot on offer for newcomers to the area. On the edge of the village, and with magnificent views of the Mendips, is our next offering.
And here we are at the second
Wow.
of our offerings.
Another lovely, lovely looking
Yes.
house. Great colour. Love. I mean, it's helped beautifully with the sun on it, but just looks great. And the views. I like the simplicity of the exterior. It's
A handsome building.
Yeah, it is handsome, and it all looks very neat and tidy.
The business is there behind us. We'll look at that later.
Okay.
But let's look inside.
Lovely.
Dating back to the 1860s, this property was significantly extended during the 1940s. Over the last 4 years, however, the house has been completely refurbished by the current owners.
Come on, quite different decor in this house, more modern.
Yeah, that's nice. Feels welcoming when you come in.
I'm assuming this is the smaller of the rooms.
Well, actually, no, the room's not quite as big as the last property.
Okay.
You've got this room and then you've got another room next door which is about the same size. And then it goes through into the big kitchen, which is modern. This is a stark contrast to the last kitchen.
Oh, yes. Gosh, it's completely different. It's not that country kitchen feel at all, is it? And I suppose one big difference that's immediately apparent is that when you look out of the windows, you're not getting the views. You are getting the garden, you're getting the hedgerows.
I mean, the answer is to take down the hedges.
Quite simple. Alistair, why didn't I think of that?
I agree. Without the hedge, that would open up a huge view, because there's just pasture or paddock behind that, isn't there? Yeah.
But I like it. They've done it beautifully. It just doesn't feel quite so expansive as the other one.
OK, so sort of so-so response.
You showed us such a showstopper to start with. I think that's the difficult thing.
Also on the ground floor, there is a conservatory off the kitchen, along with a utility room. Upstairs, there are 2 spacious double bedrooms and a generous split-level bathroom. Up again on the second floor, there are a further 2 double bedrooms, one of which is currently used as a study, and both have amazing views. There's also a compact shower room.
This one they're using as the master bedroom.
OK. Yep.
OK, modern four-poster.
Yep. I think the heavy curtains are maybe limiting the amount of light that there could be, quite naturally, in here. But there's plenty of space to move around, and that's a fairly large bed, so it's a good size, yeah.
I do want to show you the holiday let because it's quite impressive.
OK.
The self-contained holiday let option here is already up and running and consists of 2 generous bedrooms, a double and a twin, along with a bright bathroom and a living area.
Now, this is classed as a 4-star holiday let.
I can see why. It's fabulous, isn't it? They've done it absolutely beautifully.
They get around 15,000 a year.
OK.
And peak season's about £700 a week.
Yeah. This is far more impressive as a holiday let, but I think the house lets it down slightly. It feels far more constricted than the first one.
But let's just step outside one more time to think about the price, and then you can go roaming.
The garden consists of around an acre of land, including a swimming pool, stables and a paddock.
There's sort of a big open space.
I think it would take a bit of landscaping, put it that way.
Yeah.
But not impossible.
OK, so that's pretty much all your outside space. What do you think it's on the market for?
Well, it still has space, and the holiday let is lovely. So I'm going to say 735.
Oh. I was going to say the same as I said before, maybe a bit more, 705.
705.
705, yeah.
OK. Well, actually, this is on at offers over 700. And it's got a lot going for it because you can get a lot of income from the holiday let.
Yes.
But do a few lengths of the pool, why don't you? And I'll see you at the front.
Super. Thank you.
Comfortably under budget, this modernised character property is refurbished to a high standard. It gives them 4 bedrooms and plenty of living space. With the holiday let option ready to go, it meets many of Laurie and David's demands. Located on the edge of a village and with stunning views of the Mendip Hills, it's a 45-minute drive from Bristol.
Oh, look at the views. Interestingly, it feels more open. Gosh, that is absolutely fabulous.
Stunning. Compared to the first house, this has got a lot to live up to. It's got all the ingredients, but just doesn't come together quite as well. OK, so this is the main bedroom for the holiday let.
Yeah. It's surprisingly large.
Yeah, you wouldn't think it from looking at the outside.
No.
Great. Ensuite.
Lovely. The holiday let is already here and up and running and finished to a fantastic standard. In fact, it's the kind of finish that we would be looking to achieve in any holiday let that we were putting together ourselves. But the house doesn't fire my imagination in terms of how we might live, and that is quite important. I need to imagine us living there.
There you are. Thought you might be in the pool, but you must have towelled off.
Oh, yes.
That's all the properties for the day. So now we can chew the cud and get ready for the mystery house tomorrow.
Great.
Okay. Laurie and David from the town of Wokingham in Surrey have a budget of up to £750,000 to buy their first home together in rural North Somerset. Coming up, the mystery property gives our buyers a pleasant surprise. It really is a little hobbit house.
Oh, it's so cute.
Isn't it cute? And I find out how extreme low tides in the Bristol Channel are revealing previously unseen and untasted marine life.
All seaweeds are edible.
It's actually nice. The weather is not playing ball here in Somerset, but hopefully Laurie and David will with our mystery house, although what has become clear is that they are looking for a lot of personal space in the house where they're going to live. Maybe the business is not quite as important, and the mystery house is really going to test how far they're willing to take their business project. Let's see how it goes. For our mystery property, we're heading south to Coxley, which lies 2 miles from Wells and is the furthest house from Bristol. It's a peaceful village with a scattering of properties and might prove to be the rural retreat Laurie and David have been looking for, whilst being close enough to the Mendip Hills to attract a steady flow of business. It's an attractive stone-built property. Essentially, it's this big cottage in front of us.
Gosh, it's incredible.
Now, this is 3 holiday lets.
OK.
And a small
house.
Okay.
But the house could be turned back into the original house.
The house could be turned back in the original house. But the point is that this holiday let brings upward of £50,000 a year.
Whoa.
OK. Stay in the small house.
And that's a 30-week occupancy, so you could push it up.
Very good.
That's really interesting.
Yeah, great.
Yeah.
Cool.
This one you're going to have to use your imagination, particularly about how to reconfigure the house if you wanted to join it up again, and also to see through some of the decor.
That's fine, we can do that.
That's what I like to hear. Follow me. Dating back to 1690, this is the oldest of the properties I'm showing them. Built out of the local stone typically used to construct cottages at this time, the compromise here is on the amount of personal space on offer. However, with an already established and thriving business, I'm hoping they'll be tempted. Come in. It's a lovely, big,
Yes.
very sunny kitchen. Quadruple aspect.
No, it's
Yes,
great.
nice.
Really, really big. I was slightly nervous when you said outside. We might need to use our imagination.
Yeah.
Actually, this is great. No, it's
lovely,
lovely. Very nice. And I can imagine on a good day, it must be just filled with light.
It's got space.
Colour scheme's great. Wouldn't need to do anything in here.
The kitchen here doubles up as the dining room. Leading off the kitchen, there's a study and a small sitting room that opens up to a conservatory. And then this room. This was the original cottage, just one room thick, with windows on both sides, and a great big hearth.
I think it's rather sweet, this room.
Yeah, it's nice.
It is quite small, but there's something rather comfortable about it.
It's lots of windows again, all round.
I mean, the obvious thought is maybe that you could take this wall out and make it one big sitting room.
We were asking for larger proportions, but this is lovely, the size. Wouldn't even necessarily think about knocking it through. It will be just us most of the time. Yeah,
I like
good
it,
mystery.
Let's look at the master bedroom here. It's through that little door behind.
Okay.
It's a one in, one out.
It is, isn't it?
On the first floor, there's a double bedroom and shower room. And up on the second floor is a further twin with its own ensuite. But we're inspecting the master.
Okay.
A bit more snug upstairs.
It's okay. It is a low ceiling, but because there's light flooding in all directions, it feels fine.
Above here, this is why the ceiling's a bit low. There's another bedroom up in the eaves.
You know, it's quirky, and I think with our decor and our spin on it, it could be very interesting.
Yeah, I think it could be a lovely property.
One of the holiday let options is a 2-storey annex attached to the house, which can be accessed through a door just off the sitting room. It has a living area, a space for dining, a cosy kitchen, and usefully for a holiday rental, the 2 double bedrooms are both en suite. The second holiday let is self-contained, with the living area and double bedroom sharing the same open-plan space. There's also a separate kitchen. But we're going to take a closer look at the rather impressive and quite unexpected third option.
Mind your head. It really is a little hobbit house.
Oh, it's so cute.
Isn't it cute? You've got a bedroom here, and then a very nice little bathroom and a shower here, and then through here's the little Bilbo Baggins house.
It's wonderful. I don't think that we mentioned to you, but we had a conversation about whether, if we didn't have the holiday let, we had some land, we might build some cabins and have a glamping idea, and here you've given us both. It really sparks the imagination, doesn't it?
Let's go outside and talk about the budget.
Also hidden within the landscape gardens here is a summer house with a hot tub.
I appreciate there's a lot to take in. I'll give you a chance to revisit all the bits and bobs inside so you can make sense of them. But what do you think the price is?
Well, Alistair, with what you've shown us, the fact there are 3 holiday lets, lovely house, and the fact there's £50,000 coming in a year, it's got to be top of the budget. In fact, I'd say slightly more, I'd say 760.
I agree, it's going to be near the top. Locationally as well, the views are beautiful, so because I need to have a different figure, I'm going to say 755.
Well, in this instance, you're both a bit pessimistic, only a little bit. It's actually on the market for £750,000.
Okay.
And that's with no contents. You could negotiate to get all the contents.
OK.
It is a lot.
Right.
So you might want to explore.
Yes, we do.
Yeah. Can we have the next 2 days?
And then, where shall I meet you? I'll meet you out here, and then we can go find somewhere to think about it.
All right, thank
All right.
you.
Okay.
At the top of their budget, our mystery cottage paints a completely different picture of what Laurie and David's new rural life could be like. It has 2 bedrooms, a large kitchen, plus 3 holiday let options, located in a stunning rural setting, and is an hour's drive from Bristol.
OK, so this is the holiday let attached to the house. It's amazing. I mean, you just have no idea how many rooms and how much space there is in here.
It's a lot to take in one go.
It's great. It's just so quirky.
It is absolutely bursting with character, this house. We could strip it down, we could modernise it, or we could leave it as it is. It's very versatile.
The rooms are on the small side, and yet there's something about it. It's got real charm, and there's a real warmth about it, and it felt cosy, but not in a confined way.
The business is great because I was considering slowing my business down. This house gives me the opportunity to stop it dead. That's the plus on here.
The Hobbit house is a real winner, and I like the garden as well. There's something about being surrounded by the hills that feels more reminiscent of the Somerset that we really love.
So that's actually all the houses I have to show you. All done.
It's been really great.
Yeah, it's been good.
Best perhaps to get away from here so that you have a bit of a clear space to think about all 3, and then we can mull over which one you like best.
OK.
The northern Somerset coast is known for its wide sandy beaches and dramatic cliffs rich in fossil remains. The shallow waters are distinctly opaque due to the stirred-up silt beds of the Bristol Channel. The Somerset coast is currently experiencing the lowest tides the county has seen for hundreds of years, and the retreating sea is revealing a glimpse of rarely seen marine species and ancient structures normally hidden by the murky waters. I've come to the town of Minehead, on the border of Exmoor National Park, to its beach known as the Strand. I'm meeting Nigel Phillips of the Somerset Wildlife Trust, who's taking me on a seashore safari.
Nigel, so this is the Severn Estuary, right?
It is a Severn Estuary.
There is quite a spectacularly low tide, I believe.
The tides are caused by the pull of gravity from the sun and the moon, and a couple of weeks ago the sun and the moon were in a very close orbit to the Earth, and so they suck the sea further out, allowing us to see some amazing stuff that we just haven't seen in 200 years.
Right.
I think we should stop and look at this.
What is it?
Well, this is actually peat. This is part of the submerged forest. If we'd have stood here 10,000 years ago, we would be in a low-lying damp woodland. As the ice ages were melting, the sea rushed in here and knocked all the trees over and squashed them down into this layer of peat.
Amazing. So
Yeah.
the Severn Estuary was all forest?
Yeah, there was just a little sort of stream in between us and Wales.
The retreating sea has also revealed fish weirs from centuries ago. These were designed to trap and net fish as they travelled through the narrowing walls, and were used until just after the First World War. A whole host of other marine species are also thriving here.
Do you know your seaweeds?
I know my bladder rack.
Good man. Well, this is actually saurak,
Oh,
which has got a toothed edge.
well, I love seaweed. Can you eat this one?
You can. All seaweeds are edible. There's no poisonous ones. It's just some are rather tough and leathery.
Quite sandy.
It won't hurt you.
It's actually nice.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like being in a Japanese restaurant.
Yeah, it's just like a Japanese restaurant, and it's all for free.
Thank you very much.
Like many beaches along our coastline, marine life here in Somerset is under threat from a source close to home: everyday household litter. I'm visiting another Somerset beach, Sandy Bay, which is popular with tourists. Charlotte Coombs is Beach Watch Officer for the Marine Conservation Society, a charity which publishes an annual Good Beach Guide.
Charlotte, tell me, what do you do here? What's behind the project?
So we clean beaches all around the UK. We've got thousands of volunteers that get involved in organising and coming along to beach cleans.
So can we have a listen, see what we can find here? So again,
Cigarette
plastics.
lighter.
Plastics are particularly bad, aren't they? Because they
Yeah.
just don't break down.
Yeah, that's right. They can last for hundreds of years in the sea, and they never disappear. They break down into smaller and smaller pieces. And the problem with that is that lots of animals mistake them for food.
Yeah. So we've got some that you collected earlier. Now what have we got here?
In about 2002, a minke whale was washed up, and when they did an autopsy on it, they had a look in the stomach, and they found 800 grams of plastic in the stomach, which it doesn't sound like a huge amount, but actually this is the equivalent of 800 grams of plastic.
And is
so
that
this
what
is what it was
killed it?
carrying around. Yeah, so it died of starvation, and this is the kind of thing that was carrying around in its stomach.
So sad.
It is.
It's estimated that the volume of plastics in our oceans is 6 times greater than the plankton population. Microbeads found in cosmetics such as body scrubs and toothpastes are harmful to marine habitats. But it's not just marine life that's being affected by litter.
It seems that sort of toxins and bacteria like E. coli can stick to these plastic bits. They can sort of aggregate around them. So what we're starting to worry about now is that these toxins are being passed on up the food chain. And not only is that bad for animals, yeah, it could be bad for us as well.
So what can we do to stop the planet being swallowed by plastic?
The 3 R's: reduce, reuse, recycle. You know, try to avoid single-use plastics. Also, think of the 3 P's only. That's pee, poo and paper down the loo only, please. And everything else should be going in the bin. And obviously take part in a beach clean. Get involved in Beach Watch.
Yeah, and how do we do that? Is that across the country?
Yeah, you can sign up to come along, or if you really want to get involved, you can register yourself as an organiser and you can set up your own beach clean, and we've got everything you need to get you going there.
Do I get a litter picker if I do that?
Maybe.
I'm quite keen. I'm quite good at the litter picking. I hope you're
They're
impressed.
quite addictive. I am, yeah.
So it'd be great if we can keep the beaches clean.
Yes.
Well, that was a turn-up for the books. I really thought that David and Laurie weren't going to like the Mystery House, but it seems to be a top contender. At least I think so. So in order to get a seat by the fire, I had to take the cat's place, so he's going to have to join us.
Oh,
Okay.
he's gorgeous.
Oh, he is gorgeous. But tell me about your week.
I think the highlight of the week is the Mystery House, for me anyway. I mean, it's just been getting better and better. Obviously, the first property was quite exciting. In fact, last night we were talking about what we were going to do, what we were going to change, in quite some detail. But then the Mystery House today scuppered all that, and so we had to start rethinking.
Now, that surprised us, because I really thought you were sold on the first house.
I loved the first house. I really loved the first house because it had everything. It's so pretty, and the interior is very much to our taste, which is always great because you don't have to do too much. But it also had the business opportunity.
as well. But the thing about the third house is that it's more of a long-term, better bet.
Exactly, it's up and running, so we can just move in and see how it goes.
Now, that surprised us, because I think we thought that the Mystery House might be a business too far, but actually it was the other way around. That seemed to really excite you.
To find a very pretty house, be it carved in half, plus 3 holiday lets, dream come true, really, and finding out that it's earning £50,000 a year as it is, that turned my lights on. So.
I did, your eyes lit up. It was interesting, because you came with quite a, let's call it a loose set of criteria from your wish list, but actually something came into focus for you over the week. I wonder what that was.
Yes, I've always thought it's a tall order to have a certain set of prerogatives that you lay down, and you have to find that would never happen.
And in fact, we'd always said that we would just wait until we got somewhere we thought, yes, this will work for us and this feels right as well. And that's, I think, what happened this afternoon.
And so what happens next?
I think we need to revisit. I think we also need to talk about priorities and location and really think about what we would do next with it. But it's a real possibility, I think.
Well, I'm really glad that we found something, because it was, you know, it is quite a challenge to find businesses like that. And I hope very soon that you make the move.
Thank you so much. It's been a
been
really,
fun. Yeah,
really great week. Thank you, Alistair.
Although the Somerset skies have been rather overcast this week and not setting off our properties to their best advantage, nonetheless, it seems that they have persuaded Laurie and David to maybe buy the Mystery House, which was quite a surprise to me. But this show is full of surprises, and I hope that's one of the reasons that you stay watching and will join us next time for more Escape to the Country. If you'd like to escape to the country in England, Scotland, Northern Ireland or Wales, and you would like our help, you can apply at bbc.co.uk/be-on-a-show. This sweeping facade is one of the most impressive Georgian structures in the whole of the UK. Find out where it is in just a moment. In today's show, our house hunters can't wait to leave behind suburban life and move on into pastures new in the countryside. The size of our properties gets the seal of approval. Brace yourself, it's quite a big one. Ta-da!
Brilliant.
But there's dissent along the way too.
You're not getting the views, you're getting the hedgerows.
And the answer is to take down the hedges.
Quite.
Today I'm in Bath, in the county of Somerset, and this is the Royal Crescent, the city's most iconic structure. It was built at the end of the 18th century by the architect John Wood the Younger, and it consists of 30 individual Grade 1 listed buildings. In amongst them there's a luxury hotel and a museum, but most of them have been divided into flats, although the facade has stayed unchanged for 230 years. And it's not the only remarkable thing in this county that has stood the test of time. Let's talk about those pesky monetary matters. The average price for a detached house here in Somerset is £276,000, which is £6,000 less than the national figure. But, as always, there are hotspots in this county, particularly in the northeast around the city of Bath, where you pay a lot more for the same sort of property. So if you can steer clear of Bath, your money's going to go a lot further. But what other factors have attracted our buyers to this lovely county? Let's meet them and find out. Training and development consultant Laurie met graphic designer David 15 years ago, when her company was starting out and she was liaising with work clients.
I would describe David as a bit eccentric in a wonderful, wonderful way. He makes me laugh all the time.
I'd describe Laurie as enthusiastic, positive, lively, loving, and probably the best person I've ever met in my life. And,
I was going to say the same thing, but I thought I'd cry.
Wokingham holds a special place in their hearts, as it's not just where they currently live, but where they met and were married.
David came up with a really good idea of how we could never ever, or how he could never ever forget our anniversary.
Yes, November the 5th. So I would never forget my wedding anniversary, and also had free firework displays every single wedding anniversary.
But after living in the town for over 25 years, they've noticed that the area is changing, with more green space being built on by developers.
It's not quite the same charming little market town it used to be.
Memories are all in here, aren't they? You know, it's not in the bricks and mortar, really. It's what you take with you, and I'm taking him with me, so it'll be fine.
Now that Laurie's daughters and David's sons have all left home, they're more than ready to move to the peace and quiet of the countryside and buy their first home together.
Now it's all about us and the change of environment and having some space and having a new house to really invest some time in and just making it right for us. I like change, I like things to be moving, so that doesn't worry me at all. It's going to be very, very exciting.
David was all set to move to Somerset before he met Laurie, which meant putting his plans on hold. However, after 18 years of working from home and now nearing retirement, the county holds even more appeal.
It's just beautiful, and there's space, there's freedom out there.
But it's not too rural, because I don't want to be in the middle of nowhere. So it still has a village and a town feel, and there are things going on.
Having travelled extensively in the UK and abroad in their caravan and sports car, Laurie and David have a lot of experience of staying in guest houses, which they hope to put to good use once they relocate.
Part of the move would be perhaps to buy a property that has a business associated with it, perhaps a holiday let. It would be much easier for me. I would only worry about changeover on Saturdays, maintaining the property, dealing with any problems